Hello, and welcome back to my Fire Emblem 8 Ephraim Reverse Recruitment LTC, brought to you by Typhoon Carter. Today we have a doubleheader, and we are basically getting to the end of the game. The late game is pretty much filled with kill boss for the most part, with the exception of Chapter 20, and I guess 18 from aka last chapter. And I just give Cyrene a Draco shield for basically for endgame, and this map is a defend map that also has the option of ending it early if you kill the boss. The boss in this case is Reeve, and Reeve also makes an appearance in the following chapter, but Reeve is pretty much a joke, although in the Japanese version Reeve's stats do get buffed up, although it's not in this chapter where he gets his buffs. And it's a Fog of War map, so we can't quite just warp people in there, and we just gotta use Torch, but you know, it's a pretty straightforward chapter. And there are some treasure, but none of it really matters at this point, as we just go for the easy kill on Reeve. And yeah, that is chapter 19 cleared in one turn. Now with the conclusion of this map, we get some items. One of these items is going to be the Light Brand, which is like the only 1 to 2 range sword, along with the Latona and the Evaldi, and some extra gold. But let's move on to chapter 20. With chapter 20, this is one of the chapters we've been training Sally up for, and it's for good reason. And it is a seas map, and there are some terrain that are blocking the way. Now, in my Erica reverse recruitment run, this wasn't really a problem because Myrrh had wings, but Amelia doesn't, and that's a bit of an inconvenience. So I had to adopt the triple warp strat that Gradavis mentioned for Mecha's Board RN God run, and it's pretty much a variation of that, and it's relatively straightforward. Basically, we have to warp Amelia forward enough and then get Natasha in range, and also do a little bit of a trade chain. So one of the reasons why I didn't go Lara Shell as my secondary warper was because I was worried she didn't have enough magic to pull this off, or she wouldn't be able to reach it on time. Now, what we do here, we do a pretty simple trade chain here, and we gotta do a lot of stuff. However, what Lara Shell will be doing here is we're going to have her use Rescue, and the Rescue is going to boost our Dancer forward, as we're just going to Rescue drop Natasha in range so that she can once again warp Amelia. And as I mentioned before, we have to do some relatively I wouldn't say complicated, but rather convoluted trade chaining. Yeah, we pretty much gotta use most of our units here just to pull this one turn off, and it's pretty convoluted as I mentioned earlier, but it's alright, as Natasha should have enough move to just take the warp staff and have the sufficient warp range to get Amelia just over the hump. The reason we had to do this was mostly because like bishops and like mage knights, like every other class not named Sage, doesn't have the sufficient cap for magic to just pull this off, and we have a pretty easy boss kill here. And yeah, that is chapter 20 cleared in one turn. I'll see you guys next time for the grand finale.